Brothers and sisters, go ahead and turn to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, and we're going to chapter 11.
Segundo Samuel, capítulo 7.
On Wednesday, we spoke about the trap of the enemy, and the wages of sin is death.
Miércoles hablamos de las pagas de pecado y muerte.
And we said that the enemy has come to steal, kill, and destroy.
Que el enemigo viene a matar, destruir y mentir.
And, you know, brothers and sisters, with what we just talked about last week, on Wednesday, it made me think about other things.
Lo que hablamos el miércoles me hizo pensar en otras cosas.
How on a daily basis,
En todos los días
you're tempted.
estamos tentados.
Now, you're not tempted to do the normal things. Well, I'm tempted to do these bad things. You're not tempted for those, but it happens in your mind.
No somos tentados a hacer las cosas normales, son cosas en la mente.
You see, sometimes you have those thoughts where you're overcritical.
A veces tenemos pensamientos de ser criticar de más.
Sometimes we like to gossip.
A veces nos gusta hablar de otros, chismear.
And sometimes, brothers and sisters, we think we're better.
O pensamos que somos mejores que otros.
Or we think that we have something special that everybody doesn't have.
O pensamos que tenemos algo especial que los demás no tienen.
And sometimes in our mind we think that our problem is worse than everybody's problem.
Y pensamos honestamente que nuestro problema es más que los demás.
And we think that it's too much and we need to rest.
Y pensamos que es demasiado y tenemos que descansar.
You see, David,
David,
there was a trap set for him.
había una trampa hecha para él.
And on Wednesday we talked about how the wages of sin is death.
Miércoles hablamos de el pago de pecados muerte.
And we said that the enemy has come to kill, steal, and destroy.
Hemos dicho que el enemigo viene a matar, destruir y mentir.
Kill, steal, and destroy.
Matar, robar y destruir.
And we talked about how, and he went into the garden, the most perfect place,
Y entró en el jardín del lugar más perfecto.
and how he deceived Eve.
Y como él mintió a Eva
And sin came into this world.
y entró pecado en este mundo.
You see, I'm going to tell you something.
Les voy a decir algo.
It doesn't matter how much money you have.
No importa cuánto dinero tienes.
It doesn't matter how, if you have a nice house, a nice car, a nice wife, children, and everything's in place.
No importa si tienes una esposa o esposo perfecto, o hijos perfectos o casa.
That's when we need to pray more,
Es cuando tenemos que orar más.
so we don't fall into temptation.
Para que no caigamos en tentación.
You see, David,
David,
the anointed man David,
el ungido David.
you know he's anointed because you go through Psalms,
Sabes que es ungido porque vas en Salmos.
and you hear all the beautiful words. The Word of God said he was a man after God's heart.
Ves todas las palabras hermosas. Dice la palabra de Dios que él era un hombre que buscaba el corazón de Dios.
You see, when you say that you're after the Lord's heart,
Cuando dices que estás buscando el corazón de Dios,
it means that you don't want anything else but him.
que eso quiere decir que no quieres nada más que él.
Well, it seemed that way.
Así se miraba.
You see, David, brothers and sisters, he went to church too.
David también iba a la iglesia.
You know, there's people that go to church because when they go to church, they feel good about themselves.
Hay personas que van a la iglesia que cuando van lo hacen para sentirse bien.
And then people will go to church where sin isn't preached on.
Algunos van a la iglesia donde el pecado no se habla.
And the reason why is because the minister sometimes will say, well, if I preach about sin,
Y a veces dice el ministro, si hablo del pecado,
they think I'm talking about them.
van a pensar que estoy hablando de ellos.
And they might leave.
Y tal vez se van.
If they leave,
Y si se van,
they won't give their
no van a
offering,
dar su ofrenda,
they won't
no van a dar
tithe,
sus diezmos,
they won't support the
no
church,
van a apoyar la iglesia,
I won't have many people in my place of
no
worship.
voy a tener suficientes personas
When
en la
it's
iglesia,
not about that.
cuando no tiene que ver nada de eso.
So then what people do is they find a place where it's comfortable,
Hay personas que buscan un lugar que es cómodo,
where nobody knows who you are.
cuando nadie sabe quién eres.
So then we hide behind our suits and our ties,
Nos escondemos atrás de nuestros trajes y corbatas,
or behind our business, behind our job, behind our status,
atrás de nuestro trabajo, nuestro estatus,
so that and we think that covers us,
y pensamos que eso nos cubre,
and that God doesn't see behind that.
y que Dios no ve atrás de eso.
But He does. He sees right behind that.
Pero Dios sí ve todo atrás de eso.
You can fake everybody else,
Tú puedes actuar para todos los demás,
but you can't fake with the Lord.
pero no puedes actuar con Dios.
The word hypocrite
La palabra hipócrita
It comes from the word of being an actor.
viene de la palabra que quiere decir siendo un actor.
So you're an actor, you say that you want the Lord,
Eres un actor y dices si quieres a Dios,
but you really don't.
pero de veras no.
Maybe you want His blessings,
Tal vez quieres sus bendiciones,
but you don't want to do everything else around it.
pero no quieres hacer lo demás.
You don't want to
alrededor.
repent.
No quieres arrepentirte,
You don't want to change your ways.
no quieres cambiar tus maneras de ser,
But brothers and sisters, someday it's going to catch up to you.
pero algún día se va a llegar a ti.
The Lord is not going to say, well, you know what, you're a young man and you didn't understand.
No va a decir Dios, eras un hombre joven y no entendías.
Or you're an old man and I understand you've gone through a rough life.
O eres un hombre viejo y sé que has pasado una vida
Nor is
difícil.
He going to look at your education and say, well, you're an educated man. I get it.
O va a ver que tienes educación y va a decir, oh, eres
No,
educado.
brothers and sisters, it's not. He's not.
No, él no lo va a ver
You
así.
see, David, brothers and sisters, went to church and he was under the priesthood of Zadok.
Samuel iba a la iglesia y estaba bajo del mando de Zadok.
In Zadok, when we talk about Zadok, we think about a people after God's heart.
Cuando hablamos de Zadok, hablamos de una persona que iba tras del corazón de Dios.
David was so on fire for the Lord that at one point, maybe after a good sermon from Zadok,
Estaba tan en fuego su corazón para Dios que después de un mensaje de Zadok,
he said, you know, I need to do more.
él dijo, tengo que hacer más.
To the point that he went after anybody that was left over Saul's reign,
Él
or his family members,
fue detrás de las personas que quedaron del reino
and he said, this Saul,
de Saúl,
and or his relatives,
su gente de su familia.
and he found one,
Y encontró uno
and he let him eat at his table.
y dejó que coma a su mesa.
And he said, you know what, you're never gonna lack. You know, you will always eat at my table.
Y él le dijo, tú nunca te va a faltar nada, vas a comer en mi mesa.
So he had the right intentions to do what is right.
Él tenía las buenas intenciones para hacerlo.
But watch this. At one point, when David was in battle,
En un punto cuando estaba David en batalla,
a giant almost killed him.
un gigante casi lo mata.
Now, this isn't the David and Goliath story.
No es el de David y
And
Goliat.
this was afterwards.
Fue después.
Abishai,
Abishai,
one of the other soldiers, saved David.
uno de los otros soldados, ven a David.
Saved David.
Salvó a David.
And then the word of God says that Joab's men
Y bien, se dice que la gente de Joab
said this. They said, you know what, David, we are not going to let you be in the battle anymore.
dijeron, ya no vamos a dejar que estés en la batalla, David.
Because we don't want Israel's light to be shut out.
Porque no queremos que la luz de Israel se apague.
You see, so they were protecting David
Estaban protegiendo a David
and they were protecting Israel.
y estaban protegiendo a
So
Israel.
David did not go out to battle with them.
Y David ya no salía a la batalla con
So
ellos.
at this moment, brothers and sisters, now they're going to fight. The children of Israel are going to fight, and Joab, the general, is going behind them, going in front of them or behind, as you can say.
Salieron la gente de David a pelear y Joab iba enfrente o atrás.
And then David is saying, "I'll see you later," and he's saluting them as they're going.
Y David les decía adiós cuando se iban.
So see, David stood back, and then this is what happens to us.
Y David se quedó atrás y eso es lo que nos pasa.
The Lord blesses us,
Dios nos bendice
and we say, well, you know what, I deserve it.
y dices, yo me lo merezco.
You know what, I've been through battle.
Yo he pasado
I
batallas,
prayed, I fasted.
oré y ayuné.
It's my time to relax.
Es mi tiempo para relajarme.
You know, or maybe I'll do a little golfing.
Tal vez voy a jugar golf.
Maybe I'll go, watch a couple of movies.
O voy a ver unas películas.
Maybe I'll go on vacation.
Voy de vacaciones.
And I'll say to myself,
Y voy a decirme a mí
good
mismo,
job.
buen trabajo.
You've laid up a lot for you.
Has hecho mucho para ti.
Now go ahead and rest.
Ahora puedes
No,
descansar.
brothers and sisters, that's the time
No, hermanos, es el tiempo
that we need to
que
pray.
tenemos que orar.
I'm not saying those things are
No
wrong,
estoy diciendo que esas cosas son
but if
malas,
that's what your heart's after,
pero si tu corazón está
that's
atrás de
where your
esas cosas,
treasure's at.
es donde está tu tesoro.
And brothers and sisters, it'll lead to death.
Y eso te va a llevar a muerte,
Spiritual death.
espiritualmente.
So the Word of God says that David,
Dice la palabra de Dios que David
he started off right.
comenzó bien,
He made mistakes.
hizo errores,
He was under the priesthood of Zadok.
estaba bajo de del mando de Zadok,
And he was doing things right.
estaba haciendo las cosas bien.
Now he sent his army off.
y mandó a su ejército.
And brothers and sisters, what ended up happening was this.
Lo que pasó es esto.
The Word of God says that in 2 Samuel brothers and sisters, chapter 11.
Dice segundo Samuel, capítulo 11.
It says that he was sleeping, he gets up.
Estaba dormido y despertó, se levantó.
The Word of God says in the springtime, says when even David got up from his bed and walked around the roof of the palace. From the roof he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very beautiful. And David sent someone to find out about her. The man said, "Isn't that Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?" And David sent messengers to her to get her. She came to him, and he slept with her. She purified herself from the uncleanness. Then she went back home. The woman conceived and sent word to David saying, "I am pregnant." So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to tell you, at this moment, so see, David gets up from his bed, he looks down, he sees her, and he sins.
En ese momento David se levantó de su cama y salió y vio a Bathsheba y pecó.
You know, brothers and sisters, what ended up happening was this.
Lo que pasó es esto.
David, if you read the Word of God,
David, si lees la palabra de
it
Dios,
says that he always took wives to himself.
que él siempre tomaba esposas.
And you think, well, back in the day it was okay.
Y dirás, en ese tiempo estaba bien.
The Lord understood.
Dios entendió.
No, brothers and sisters, that's not true.
Eso no es cierto.
That's a lie from the devil.
Es una
Or we
mentira
can
del
say,
diablo.
well, the Lord winked at it.
O decías que Dios decía que estaba bien.
It's okay, yeah, I understand.
Y él decía, yo entendía.
You know, brothers and sisters, he didn't understand. He
Él no
didn't
entendía.
understand.
Él no
You know
entendía.
why? Because in his commandments,
No, porque en su
he says
mandamiento,
you will not commit adultery.
él dice que no cometerás
In
adulterio.
Deuteronomy 17:17,
En Deuteronomy 17:17,
the Word of God says this.
dice la palabra de Dios.
It says, "And he shall not acquire many wives for himself, lest his heart turn away, nor shall he acquire for himself excessive silver and gold."
Ni tomará para sí muchas mujeres, para que su corazón no se desvíe, ni plata ni oro amontonará para sí en abundancia.
So for those of you that say, well, no, things have changed, it wasn't like that before.
Con los que dicen que así, que ya cambiaron las cosas que era así antes,
No, that's a lie from the devil.
es una mentira del
But
diablo.
right here, the Lord commanded no.
Aquí dice Dios, como dice que no está bien.
You know, brothers and sisters, so David would take wives unto himself.
Y David tomaba diferentes
So
cosas.
he had a weakness.
Tenía una debilidad.
He loved beautiful women.
Le gustaba hermosas
You
mujeres.
know, and he'd take one wife after the other.
Tomaba una esposa tras otra.
And so then, this is something, brothers and sisters, that he had not dealt with. He had not given it to the Lord.
Era algo que no le tenía dado a Dios.
So if you would have given it to God,
Si él se hubiera dado a Dios,
the Lord would have helped him through it.
Dios lo hubiera ayudado a
You
pasar.
see, brothers and sisters, this is what happens.
Es lo que nos pasa.
You know, David was in sin,
David estaba en pecado,
but he was being blessed.
pero estaba siendo
He had his
bendecido.
nice palace.
Tenía su bonito palacio.
He was king over Israel.
Era rey sobre
He had the
Israel.
things he needed.
Tenía las cosas que necesitaba.
Our brothers and sisters, everything was going right.
Todo iba bien.
And sometimes we think because God is blessing us,
Y a veces pensamos porque Dios es
your
bendecido,
business is going
tu
good.
negocio va bien.
Your marriage is right.
Tu matrimonio está
Your
bien.
house, everything is in order.
Tu casa, todo está
You
bien.
have more money than you know what to do with.
Tienes más dinero
You
de
think,
lo
well,
que
God
sabes
is
qué
with
hacer.
me.
Porque
Brothers,
Dios está contigo.
that is not true.
Eso no es cierto.
It doesn't mean just because you're blessed that the Lord is with you.
No quiere decir que porque estás bendecido
Or you
que
think,
Dios está
well,
contigo.
the Lord understands.
O dices Dios entiende.
So then what you're saying
Lo que
is
estás diciendo
that God's saying it's okay for you to sin just a little
que
bit.
Dios está diciendo que puedes pecar poquito.
But it's not
Pero
true.
no es cierto.
Don't mistake His blessings as approval of your sin.
No piensen que porque te bendice está bien tu pecado.
But the enemy saw David's weakness.
Pero el enemigo vio la debilidad de David.
You know, I said this before the last time I spoke.
He dicho esto antes cuando yo platiqué.
The enemy, brothers and sisters,
El enemigo,
the blood of Jesus Christ rebuke him.
la sangre de Jesucristo lo reprenda.
He doesn't read your mind, but he looks at your actions.
El enemigo no puede leer tu mente, pero ve tus acciones.
He sees the things that you say.
Él ve las cosas que tú dices.
He loves it when you say, I'm sick.
Él le encanta cuando dices que estoy enfermo.
He loves it when you say, you know what, it's not working out for me.
Él le gusta cuando tú dices, no, esto no va a funcionar para mí.
He loves it when you say, you know what, I'm just born with bad luck.
Le gusta cuando tú dices, nací con mala suerte.
I'm not going to be okay.
No voy a estar bien.
This is wrong with me.
Esto me pasa.
Everything's wrong with me.
Todo me pasa.
In fact, the enemy rejoices in those things.
El enemigo se regocija en esas cosas.
But brothers and sisters, in David's situation,
En la situación de David,
You see, he was set, he was put, he was allowed, he was trapped.
Estaba, le tenían una trampa. Estaba,
You know, the Word of God says
dice la palabra de Dios,
that at that very moment,
que en ese momento,
and he sinned,
cuando él pecó,
committed adultery,
cometió adulterio,
other things started coming.
otras cosas
Now
vinieron.
murder came in his heart.
Ahora matar estaba en su corazón.
So that he wasn't at war.
No estaba en guerra.
No, brothers and sisters. Now the Word of God says that he sent Uriah the Hittite in the where the battle was the fiercest.
Mandó a Urias donde estaba peor la batalla.
The Word of God says that he died,
Dice la palabra de Dios que él murió
and David continued as normal.
y David siguió como normal.
The Word of God says that one day,
Dice la palabra de Dios que un día,
you know, as least expected,
cuando no lo esperaba,
you see, because David, you know, he sinned against God, but he didn't repent.
porque David pecó contra Dios y no se arrepintió.
He didn't say, he thought to himself, well, you know, the Lord understands I have my needs.
Él no dijo, Dios sabe mis necesidades.
You know,
Él entiende.
he thought that, you know what, the Lord understands my needs. He knows what I'm going through.
Él pensó, Dios sabe lo que estoy pasando, sabe mis
Didn't
necesidades.
expect that Nathan the prophet would come
Él no esperó que Natán venga a hablar con él,
and tell him that he was wrong.
que iba a venir a decirle que estaba mal.
The Word of God says that Nathan the prophet comes and talks to him.
Dice la palabra de Dios que el profeta Natán vino a hablar con él.
And when he told him the story,
Y cuando le dijo la historia,
David was enraged,
David estaba enojado.
was upset.
Estaba muy molesto.
And he said, that man deserves to die.
Dijo, ese hombre merece morir.
That man messed up.
Ese hombre se equivocó.
And Nathan says, hold up, that is you.
Y Natán le dijo, tú eres
And he
ese
said
hombre.
this.
Y él dijo,
Nathan says, David,
Natán a David,
why did you despise the word of the Lord?
¿por qué despreciaste la palabra de Dios?
Why? Why did you despise the word of the Lord?
¿Por qué despreciaste la palabra de Dios?
When you look at the word despise, the
Si
word of
ves
God,
La palabra despreciar
it means this. It means to trample,
quiere decir que pisotea,
to step over
pisa sobre de ello,
the word of God.
sobre la palabra de Dios.
He said, and then Nathan says to him,
Y dijo Natán, David,
God gave you everything you wanted.
Dios te dio todo lo que tú
In
querías
fact, he would have given you more.
y te hubiera dado más.
But then, you know what happened?
Pero ¿sabes qué pasó?
He says, but you despise the word of the Lord.
Pero tú despreciaste la palabra de Dios.
And David, brothers and sisters,
Y David
realized he had sinned.
se dio cuenta que pecó.
The word of God says that he lost a child,
Dice la palabra de Dios que perdió a su hijo.
and then you think, well, he's just a child.
Y dirás, solamente fue un niño.
No, brothers and sisters, let me tell you, that is the heavy cost of sin.
Ese es el costo muy fuerte que paga
Do you
el pecado.
think that just because you no longer go to church,
Tú piensas que si no vas a la iglesia,
and then that you know what, you say you're a Christian,
que dices que eres un cristiano,
that you are?
y si eres,
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to turn the lights on for you.
voy a prender las luces para que tú
That's
veas.
a lie from the devil.
Es una mentira.
If you're not reading your word,
Si tú no estás viendo tu
if you're
Biblia,
not praying,
si no estás orando,
or you're not going to the house of God,
o no estás yendo a la
how
casa
can
de
you
Dios,
say you are a Christian?
¿cómo puedes decir que eres un cristiano?
I heard this special word,
Yo escuché esta
the
palabra.
carnal Christian.
Es un cristiano carnal.
Because he still drinks, and he still smokes, and he still does bad things.
Porque todavía fuma, toma y hace cosas
And then he
malas.
talks, but he's still a Christian.
Y habla, pero
No,
todavía es un
no, he's
cristiano.
not. You're not. You're
Pero
not a
no
Christian.
eres. No
Don't
eres un
lie to
cristiano.
yourself.
No te mientas.
Well, he's at the club every Friday and Saturday. He's a
Está
Christian.
de fiesta cada fin de semana.
No, you're not.
No eres.
You didn't get your life right with God.
Tienes que componer tu vida con Dios.
My father used to say,
Mi papá decía,
he used to say, you know, if you tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are.
me decía, dime con quién andas y te diré quién
He
eres.
used to say, if you play with honey enough,
Si juegas suficiente con la miel,
you're going to get someone on top of you.
se te va a pegar.
You think to yourself, well, how does that have anything to do with what you're talking about?
Y dirás, ¿eso qué tiene que ver con lo que estás
You see,
hablando?
brothers and sisters, it's because sin
Es porque el pecado
is like dead bones.
es como huesos muertos,
I'm sorry, it's like a tomb
como una tumba
with bones under it.
con huesos debajo.
The Jews, they believe that if you touch the tomb,
Los judíos creían que si tú tocabas una tumba,
well, it's not just a belief. What they would do is you were unclean for 7 days.
ellos decían que no estabas limpio por 7 días.
And you touch somebody else
Y si tocabas a otra persona
before those 7 days,
antes de los 7 días,
brothers and sisters, they would be unclean too.
también ellos no estaban
So
limpios.
see, all these things.
Todas esas cosas.
Now David,
David
you know, brothers and sisters, he suffered
sufrió.
And this is the awful cost. This is the awful cost of sin.
Y esto fue el costo del pecado.
You know, it was his greediness.
Fue su, que era codicioso.
He wanted more.
Quería más.
And I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing wrong with asking God for the desires of your heart.
No es nada malo que le pides los deseos de tu corazón a
But how are
Dios.
you going to ask for him
Pero ¿cómo vas a pedir?
for something that's against his word?
Pedir algo que es contra su palabra.
I'm going to tell you this. Now, David, he had the right intentions.
Puedo decir que David tenía las buenas intenciones.
He wrote the Psalms.
Escribió los salmos.
You think to yourself, how can a man who wrote Psalms inspired by the word of God do these things?
Dirás como una persona que escribió salmos inspirado por Dios hizo estas cosas.
You see, there was a minister.
Había un ministro.
He said, I walked wrong with God for a very long time.
Caminé mal con Dios, caminé mal.
But the blessings were coming in.
Pero llegaban las
The
bendiciones.
church was full.
Estaba yendo la iglesia.
I had a new house, a new car, everything I
Carro
wanted.
nuevo, todo lo que yo quería.
Wife, children, everything.
Hijos, esposa, todo lo que yo quería.
You know, the newest suits, the newest ties. You know, the words that came out was fire.
Lo más nuevo en ropa y las palabras que salían eran juego.
But I hadn't dealt with my sin.
Pero no tenía yo hablado de mi pecado.
You know, I had not dealt with the sin in my heart.
No tenía yo compuesto el pecado en mi corazón.
I had not given it to the Lord.
No se lo tenía yo
And I thought that he was with me because I was being
Y
blessed.
yo pensé que estaba conmigo porque estaba yo bendecido.
But that's a lie from the devil. That's a trap.
Pero es una mentira del diablo, una trampa.
It's this ongoing lust,
Que esta lujuria que seguía,
brothers and sisters, would lead to death.
que llevaría a la muerte.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. Number one, don't mistake blessings, brothers and sisters, as if God is with you.
No malinterpreten los pecados que Dios está contigo. Las bendiciones pensando que Dios está contigo.
And if you, brothers and sisters, your ongoing lust for the things of the world,
Y que sigues tras las cosas del mundo,
it's going to lead to death.
te va a llevar a la muerte.
So you see those two things.
¿Ves esas dos cosas?
You see the third.
Y ves la tercera.
Brothers and sisters, many of us
Muchos de
are
nosotros
weary of war.
estamos cansados de
Like,
la guerra.
we're weary of all the things that we've gone through.
Estamos cansados de todo lo que hemos pasado.
You know, I've gone through it.
Yo he pasado por ello.
So, Lord, you have to understand
Yo digo, Dios, me tienes que entender
that, you know, I lost a couple of family members.
que he perdido gente que en mi familia.
And, you know, you have to understand if I want a break.
Tienes que entender que quiero un descanso.
How, brothers and sisters?
¿Cómo?
When God hasn't taken a break from giving us air in our lungs.
Cuando Dios no ha tomado un descanso de darnos aire en nuestros
When God hasn't
pulmones.
taken a break and given us the desires of our heart.
Que no ha agarrado un descanso de los deseos de tu
When He
vida.
constantly forgives.
Cuando constantemente nos perdona.
You know, brothers and sisters, you think to yourself, okay, so then fine. So then what do I do?
Y dirás, está bien, ¿qué hago?
You find rest in the Lord.
Buscas descanso en Dios.
The Word of God says this. You know, it says that His yoke is easy and burden is light.
Dice que su yugo es fácil y ligero.
You know, brothers and sisters, the word anxiety,
La palabra ansiedad,
I keep hearing it everywhere.
lo escucho donde quiera.
You know, it's the new word for don't know. It's where we don't know how to explain the way we're feeling.
Es una palabra que usamos cuando no sabemos cómo explicar lo que estamos sintiendo.
I think I'm going to adopt the word too.
Lo voy a adoptar yo también.
But brothers and sisters, I'm not saying it doesn't exist,
Yo no digo que no existe,
but I'm saying we need to give it to the Lord.
pero sí digo que lo tenemos que dar a Dios.
One man said this.
Un hombre dijo
I
esto.
don't know what anxiety is.
Yo no sé lo que es la ansiedad,
He says, but I will tell you this.
pero te voy a decir esto.
The more you talk about it,
Entre más hablas de
the
ello,
more you put your faith in it,
si pones tu fe en ello,
the more it's coming.
viene.
So sometimes put our faith in our sicknesses.
A veces ponemos la fe en nuestras
We get
enfermedades.
mad. There's one person when I was telling him, hey, I was like, you're not sick.
Hay una persona que yo le decía, no estás enfermo.
And this person got mad at me because I told them they're not sick.
Y esa persona se enojó conmigo porque dije que no estaba enfermo.
And the brothers and sisters, this is what happens.
Y eso es lo que pasa.
It happens all the time because here's what happens. We don't know
Pasa seguido, no sabemos
what other people are feeling.
lo que las otras personas
Maybe
están
they are
sintiendo.
sick.
Tal vez sí están enfermos,
But if we don't give it to the Lord,
pero si no se lo damos a Dios,
you're going to remain sick.
vamos a seguir enfermos.
Maybe you say, I'm tired.
Tal vez dirás, estoy cansado,
I want to stay home.
quiero quedarme en casa.
You know, I was out late last night.
Salí muy tarde
The
anoche.
Lord understands.
Dios entiende.
I work 5 days a week.
Yo trabajo 5 días a la semana
And I only have a little bit of time for me.
y nomás tengo poco tiempo para
No,
mí.
but stop making excuses.
Deja de hacer excusas.
You just don't want it.
Tú solamente no lo
And
quieres.
if you don't want it, if it's not that, it's because you're lazy.
Y si no es eso, es porque eres flojo.
Who am I to tell you that?
¿Quién soy yo para decirte
Take
eso?
a good look at your heart.
Que vean bien su corazón,
Take a good look at the things that you're watching,
que vean bien lo que están, que se pongan a ver
the
lo que
things
están
that you're
viendo,
listening to.
lo que están
And ask
escuchando,
yourself,
y pregúntate,
do I really want this or not?
¿esto es de verdad lo que yo quiero?
The Lord wants us to decide if we do or not,
Dios quiere que decidamos que sí o no,
to follow or not follow. One man told me this.
seguir a Dios o no. Un hombre me dijo
He
esto.
said, I said, man, come to church.
Yo le dije, hombre, ven a la
He said, I
iglesia.
don't want to hear that.
Y digo, yo no quiero escuchar
I
eso.
said, who are you to tell me to go to church?
¿Quién eres tú para decirme que vaya a la
He said, you know
iglesia?
what? I appreciate you telling me.
Yo aprecio que me estás diciendo,
I appreciate you saying, hey, come to the house of God.
aprecio que me digas que vaya a la casa de Dios,
But I don't want it.
pero no
At least
quiero.
he told me that.
Al menos él me lo dijo.
Not keep saying I want it,
Y no diciendo que sí lo quiero.
and I haven't seen you. You don't read, you don't pray. You don't know what I do at home.
Y no te he visto, no has leído, no has orado. Y tú dirás, tú no me ves en mi casa.
I've been around long enough
Pero yo sé,
that I've been around long enough
he estado aquí suficiente tiempo
to know
para saber
that when you're walking with
que
God,
cuando estás caminando con Dios,
the Lord will compel you,
Dios te va
and brothers and sisters, you'll go to Him. You'll want to pray.
vas a querer orar.
You see, David was unprepared.
David no estaba preparado.
You see, if he was prepared with the Word of God,
Si estaba preparado con la palabra de Dios,
and then for that trap of the enemy,
para la trampa del enemigo,
brothers and sisters, what would have happened is this: he would have walked there, he would have seen her,
él hubiera estado allá y la hubiera visto.
he would have said, "This isn't right."
Y él hubiera dicho, no está
He
bien.
would have took a step back.
Él hubiera tomado
But
un
brothers
paso
and sisters,
atrás.
we already saw that Samuel in the very beginning talked to David.
Ya vimos que Samuel habló con David.
He sat down and said, "David, these are the things you shouldn't do."
Y habló con él y le dijo, estas son las cosas que no debes
But
hacer.
David took taking wives and wives and wives.
Y David tomaba esposa tras esposa.
I imagine in hell,
Yo me imagino que en el infierno,
in the spiritual realms,
en el espiritual,
that the enemy
que el enemigo
and his other demons
y sus otros demonios
sat back and they said, "Well, what can we get David on?"
se sentaban y dijeron, ¿qué podemos hacer para atrapar a David?
And they said, "But we know, we've heard him talk.
Dijeron, me imagino que dijeron, hemos escuchado que hable,
He writes his beautiful psalms,
escribe sus hermosos,
worships the Lord.
alaba a Dios,
But you know what? He's got a lot of wives.
pero tiene muchas esposas
And you know what's gonna happen? You know what? It's time.
y ya es tiempo.
Let's release the worst.
Vamos a soltar lo peor.
Don't tell me sin doesn't cost.
No me digan que el pecado no cuesta.
It cost many of the lives of his children.
Sí costó mucho de la vida de sus hijos.
And the enemy goes out.
Y el enemigo sale
And David's family, brothers and sisters,
y
is
la
in
familia
trouble.
también está en problemas.
But if you were to go to Psalms 141,
Si vas a Salmo 141,
and the Word of God says this,
dice la palabra de Dios,
it says, watch, verse 9, 10.
versículos 9 y 10.
It says, "Keep me from the trap that they have laid for me, and from the snares of evildoers."
Guárdame de los lazos que me han tendido y de las trampas de los que hacen iniquidad.
So now David is saying, "Keep me from these traps."
Ahora dice David que me cuides de los lazos.
In verse 10, it says, "But let the wicked fall into their own nets while I pass by safely."
Caigan los impíos aún en sus redes mientras yo pasaré adelante.
Your brothers and sisters, what he's saying is this,
Lo que está diciendo es esto,
that there is a way out.
que hay una manera de salir.
So when the enemy comes
Y cuando venga el enemigo
and he wants to destroy
y
you,
te quiere
and
destruir
he sets a trap for you,
y pone una trampa
the
para ti,
spiritual lights come on.
que prende las luces espirituales.
You know, brothers and sisters, when the devil starts coming in,
Cuando llega el enemigo a
you
entrar,
need to be able to recognize that it's the
tú
devil.
tienes que reconocer que es el enemigo.
Let's say this, you're sitting there, and then one Sunday you think, I don't feel like going to church.
Estás ahí un domingo y dices, no siento ir a
I don't feel like reading my Bible or praying.
No siento leer mi Biblia. o
That's
orar.
when you have to stand up and say, wait a second,
Es cuando tienes que pararte y decir, un momento,
why don't I want to do this?
¿por qué no lo quiero hacer?
What's happening to me?
¿Qué me está pasando?
I need to make a change.
Tengo que hacer un cambio.
You see, the spiritual lights need to turn on
Tiene que ponerse las luces espirituales
to keep you from, brothers and sisters, the trap of the devil.
para que te mantengan lejos de la trampa del enemigo.
I'm going to tell you this.
Les voy a decir esto.
David went through a lot,
David pasó por mucho
and it cost him everything. It cost him, not everything, I'm sorry, I want to say everything because the Lord forgave him,
le costó mucho, no voy a decir todo porque Dios lo perdonó,
but it did cost him his children.
pero sí le costó a sus hijos.
Brothers and sisters, I would wish that on anybody.
Yo no le desearía eso a nadie.
But that's where people are headed.
Pero ahí es donde va la
You
gente.
think maybe they won't die,
Va en camino a eso y dirás, no, tal vez no
but they
mueran,
could be lost to the world.
pero pueden perderse el mundo.
I talked to a pastor's son.
Yo hablé con un hijo de pastor
I said to him, hey,
y le dije,
are you supporting your father?
¿estás apoyando a tu padre?
Are you doing what you're supposed to do?
¿Estás haciendo lo que debes estar haciendo?
And he's, are you at least going to church at least?
¿Al menos estás haciendo la iglesia?
He said this, no,
Y él me dijo que no.
I haven't gone over a year.
No he ido en más de un año.
And he's like, yeah, I know, I'm going to hell, yeah, I know, I'm going to suffer, yeah,
Y me
yeah.
dijo, sí, voy al infierno, yo sé que voy a sufrir.
And I couldn't believe he said that.
Y yo no podía creer que
And
lo
he told
dijo.
me, I said, don't say that.
Y yo le dije, no digas
Get
eso.
right with God.
Ponte bien con Dios.
When we say that, brothers and sisters,
Cuando decimos eso,
maybe you don't say it.
o tal vez no lo
Maybe you think
dices.
I'm not too bad of a person, you know what? I don't need the Lord.
Y dirás, soy una persona muy mala, no necesito a
No,
Dios.
brothers and sisters, that's when you need Him the most.
Es cuando lo necesitas más.
Don't be trapped by the devil.
No estés en la trampa del
Don't
diablo.
listen to what he says to you.
No escuches lo que él te
He's
está
a
diciendo.
liar.
Él es un
He
mentiroso.
wants to steal your family.
Él quiere robar a tu familia.
He's a killer. He wants to kill your body.
Es un asesino, quiere matar
He
tu
wants to
cuerpo.
take your kids.
Quiere tomar tus hijos, robar
Do
tus hijos.
you think, brothers and sisters, that this isn't a hard time? It is.
No piensen que ese es un tiempo difícil, sí es.
You know, I think about it. They know, so people don't open their Bibles no more.
Pienso, mucha gente no abre sus Biblias, ¿ya?
And this is the excuse we use.
Y es la excusa que
Well,
usamos.
yeah, but I know Christians that do this and do that.
Y dirás, yo conozco a cristianos que hacen esto y esto.
But you don't have to be that type of Christian.
Pero tú no tienes que ser ese tipo de
Because
cristiano.
Christ remains perfect always.
Porque Cristo permanece
And
perfecto
everything He
siempre.
does is perfect.
Y todo lo que Él hace es
Men make
perfecto.
mistakes.
Hombres hacen
But He
errores.
has not made one mistake.
Pero Él no ha hecho ningún error.
Brothers and sisters, resist the devil
Resiste al enemigo
and he will flee.
y huirá.
I thank God for the opportunity to speak to you,
Le doy gracias por la oportunidad para hablar con
to
ustedes,
tell you to recognize when the enemy sets a trap.
para que reconozcas cuando el enemigo pone una trampa.
Brothers and sisters, God has come to give you life
Dios ha venido a darte vida,
and to turn those spiritual lights on
para que prendas las luces espirituales
when the enemy sets a trap.
cuando el enemigo pone una trampa.
God bless you.
Que Dios te bendiga.